Welcome back to another Pixel Game Maker tutorial. Today is going over my Enhanced Actions Pack 3, which contains all the destroy and enable functions. So with that said, let's get started. Alright, so here is my real quick test project. I have already uploaded all the plugins into it, the destroy, disable, enable, and then restore. I've already set up all of these except for destroy. I'll just set this one up just to make sure everyone knows how to set it up. You're going to need a common variable. I just named it the Baz variable. This can only be used for my plugin. Can't be used anywhere else. And then it needs a default value of -100. So you just go to variables right here, value, make sure it's -100, and you should be good to go. The next thing that most of these plugins need is an internal object. So I just named it Baz object. And basically the only thing that you need to do with this object is you need to go to the basic settings and make sure that none is on the restore conditions. So I didn't have that set before. So yeah, we need to put it on none. All right. And then so once we're in here, we can actually just see previews of what the plugins are actually going to offer. So as with all my plugins, I've enhanced the targeting. Now for the destroy and the disable, we'll be able to use these things where we can target like all objects and instances and stuff like this. When you go to enable, you can do some limited functions, but there is an option for all objects. Now the restore is a little bit limited. It's just mostly because of how the runtime action works. It restores all objects of that type anyway. So real quickly, we can just choose the type just like normal, but we can also do it from an object ID now if we want to. And so that's what enhanced with the restore. So let's go to destroy, for instance, and let's just see what this looks like. So if I go to my playtest scene, you can see that I have like a menu. These items right here are menu items. You can see that as I move down, they move with me because they're a HUD basically. And then you can see that I have non-menu items right here. Now these two are on different layers than these ones. And so let's start to destroy stuff and see how it works. So in the player right here, just when I attack, I'm just going to go to my plugins right here, and we're just going to destroy. So let's destroy all objects, and let's do of the normal scene, but we want to only do certain layers. So we only want to do, let's see, layer 3 maybe. So let's look at what these layers are. So player, and then layer 3. Yeah, so it would be 1, 2, 3. So layer 3 are the only things that we want to be affected. So if we go and playtest this and hit Q, you can see that it just destroys the objects on layer 3. So that's really cool. Then if we wanted to, we can also just do the menu, and we could say, hey, I want to do menu 1, which would be the HUD, or I could do -1, and that's going to be any layer, or I could do 0 and use a variable of a layer. So you could have variables for each individual menu, and then you could just throw in a variable right there. And another thing that you can do is you can just use an instance ID. So let's just say that we wanted to do the single instance ID for whatever reason. Now you could actually do this like this too. You could just say object. You could go, I want you to destroy the board, and I want you to destroy the single instance. And matter of fact, if I did that, it would just do exactly that. So it only destroyed this one. This one is the single instance. Now, once this one is destroyed, there's a new single instance. So you can keep pressing it and it will do the next single instance. So you can kind of do like a trickle effect like that. You can also do all, which will destroy all of the boards, no matter what layer. So you can see that, boom, they're all gone. And then the other thing is that you can do an instance ID. Now, the way that I'm going to do this now is not like the way that it would actually be done, but you could grab like, say, the board, and then you could grab the instance ID of the board. But in our case, we need the single unit instance ID. Again, you would store this in a different custom variable. You would throw whatever ID you needed in that variable, and then you would do it. But this is just like a quick example. So this is going to do the same thing as this did, basically. If we go like that, it's going to destroy this single instance ID. And then it will still trickle on because each new instance ID is being traded. So just like that. So yeah, and then you just go and you can kind of see that this would be the same thing with disable. And then you have the enable here, and then you have the restore and all that stuff. So anyway, there was just a little sneak peek of it. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments below. Steam forum or Discord will get you figured out. With that said, I'll see you at the next video.